Hello, everyone, to the next race in the round of 8 in the Nitro Cup series. We had a off week last week, and we'll have a couple more off weeks because the IRL races take priority. So, because the Saturday night races and stuff. But I started P9 in this race. The race is 250 laps. Stages are 60, 60, 130. And right off the bat, Liver hits the curb and spins out. But historically, I have struggled mightily at this track the last couple of seasons. The NASCAR Heat 4 and 5 seasons, I just don't understand this track. I was pretty good here in the early Heat games, but that's besides the point. Um, Currently, I am 5 points behind the 14 of Mahu to make the final four, so mostly racing against him. Lap 3, there's a little calamity in front, and I poked my nose under Jonathan, but it doesn't really upset him, but did on the exit there. So he lets me go, move up to P7 on lap 4 here, and making my way forward. So um, now we're on lap 7, and Cobra is making a surprise return. I forget exactly why he was here, but I guess he wasn't working or something. So coming to on lap 8 and 1 and 2, we were about finally able to clear him. But yeah, like I said earlier, I usually just got awful at this racetrack, and at 14, I got my nose under Andrew there, and he gets a little unhappy on the exit, and we are able to move into P4. And at this point, I was like in utter shock because like I've never even been able to do anything like this at this point, and I had to thanks Kermit for teaching me a couple of tricks of how the game actually works and stuff. It helped me out a lot, and understanding how some of the things work in this game, and it really helped. But there was a caution there. A couple guys in the back wrecked, and we restart for the restart here in 5th place, and a little stack up on the bottom. And then when I hit the brakes there, I got my car got really upset for some reason, and that was really bizarre. But still in P5. But something I noticed early in this race, especially on this restart, is that my car is complete garbage on the short run. The first like 10 laps, pretty god awful to be honest. Just unable to really turn the car at all. And after 10 laps, it came in and it was pretty good. But yeah, I don't really know what to say other than that. At this point, I'm running way better than I usually do at Martinsville. I think like last season, I finished like 3 laps down. It was really bad and pretty embarrassing to be honest. But obviously right here, just like on the outside, but I'm able to clear Mahu, and we're finally able to get to the inside lane. Moving up to lap 25, and Mahu shows his nose. I let him have it, and a little contact with SS Martinsville at this point. Um, then I tap the wall, and Cobra's able to get on my inside, and I'm just like, man, can't catch a break right now. And then Cameron just full sends, and I'm able to get on the inside of Cobra because he got full sent, and then Cameron also misses the turn a little bit. I think no, he doesn't. Um, but he misses the exit, and I get a nice run down on the inside, and I show my nose, and then I'm able to make the pass happen in 1 and 2. So kind of getting back on track here. It's the 7th place on lap 27. We're at lap 32 here, and you can see I've started to run Mahu down and Andrew. I'm like, I was feeling like decently optimistic about my pace at this point, and yeah, I was shocking myself that I was this much faster. And then Matt left the party at this point, like legged out of the party, but he didn't leg out of the race, thankfully for him. But lap 38, I shot my nose under Mahu, and it's a critical pass because even though it's not for stage points, I'm racing the 14 for the final spot in the final four at this point, and with this pass, it would have closed me down to 4 points as they run currently. So it was really important for me to be ahead of him in this race. But usually I'm so awful here. I was thinking pure damage mitigation. Just don't lose like 10, 15 points this race. And lap 41, he shows his nose on my outside. I touch the curb, don't get a good exit, and he gets a nice run. He does the crossover, and he's able to clear me. And I just let him have it. He was able to able to find a little bit of speed after I passed him, and that was the weird thing with tonight. Some runs you would just be really fast, and some runs you would just be slow. So you're just hoping that last run would be a good one. And on lap 43 here, Combat had an issue off turn 2 and got really loose, and we were able to gain a spot, so we have moved back up into P6. And then yeah, you see I got a little loose there, but this is Martinsville, lap 47. And Andrew and Mahu have an incident. I'm not entirely sure what exactly happened, but that will bring out the caution. And that'll set us up for about a 10 lap dash to end the first stage of the race. And the 41 of LCS stayed out, and the 20 of Jonathan actually ended up taking 2 tires. So we knew this was going to be pretty interesting going. But the green flag's out. We're coming to 9 to go actually into the stage, and then I loosened the car up a lot for this because it was just so tight on the early run, and I was hoping really cranking the wedge down would help a lot, and it did definitely make a difference. I'll tell you. So LCS and Jonathan there just got moved up to the high line pretty quickly, but Liver gets a nice run on my outside, but I am fighting so hard for this because I need these points so bad, and then able to roll the bottom pretty good here, and then able to clear Libert. So 1 stage point. Mahu is not in a position to get stage points at this point, so I'm like, I need this. This is like, this is like basically like it feels like my season's on the line, and LCS hits the wall. So now I'm up to 4th place, and as we run, ignoring where we run, just off stage points at this point, I'm 3 behind, and then lap 57, Jonathan slides way up. I get a nice run on the bottom here, and then he decides to let me go to just fall in line behind me. Moved up to P3, and at this point I'm in the other shock because I'm usually so god awful at this track. And then lap 60, coming to the end of the stage, we are going to bring it home P3, and I was just like, I was pretty ecstatic. I was like, what is going on? This is not supposed to happen. I am usually garbage at this track, and this means at this point we are only 2 points behind Mahu in the 14 car. So I was pretty ecstatic. I'm like, okay, it's going well so far. So we're just gonna try to do what we can, and still, I was like hoping like maybe we can pass him in points at this point, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But on the restart here, I tighten the car up a lot because if it goes long, you need the car to be a lot tighter just because it gets so loose. So I knew I was going to struggle on the short run here, and but Jonathan gives me a little nudge, but I just keep it parked on the bottom here. But yeah, I mean, it's so tight on the start for me, and I just don't know how to fight through it, I guess. So a few laps later, able to get under Libert, and we both got loose apparently, but able to eventually clear him for P4. So critically, oh, actually, lap 69, nice, but at this point, I'm like, okay, I am tied with Mahu, and the car seems to be pretty good, so I'm just like, we've got a chance to make some ground up, but still a very long way to go. We still have like 100 and um 70 laps or so, but you can see like we just made a 10 lap jump, and I just could not find a way past Andrew at this point. I was getting so frustrated because I was like, I felt like I was faster at this point. I just could not find a way around, but we had a caution there as well, and then lap 85 here, and then you can see Mahu's right behind me at this point, but this stage ends when you hit lap 121, so there's about 35 laps I think in the stage, and P5 right now, and trying to shove my nose under LCS to show him there, and then I'm able to get a decent run, but I'm not able to clear him down the front stretch, and he drives it in really deep and actually makes it 6 surprisingly, and he's fighting really well on the outside, but and I was like, I cannot let him go by at this point, but he overdrives turn 3 and 4, and I'm able to clear him for 4th, and Mahu is able to follow through as well. Lap 94 at this point, Andrew was holding up a train of cars, and I was combat was being way too nice at this point, and I honestly, if I got to combat at this point, I should have just, looking back at this point, I should have just started moving people because I needed to go, and as you can see, Mahu is right on my bumper as well, so I'm like, the tensions in my head at least were rising. Combat slides up, I try to get under him, but he gets a nice run off the exit of the turn, and I'm just had to fall back in line. I was getting so frustrated because the 9 was just holding everyone up. I felt like at this point, and then Mahu was knows the situation at this point and shoves his moves me up a little bit, but he still shows his nose there, and I'm trying to be very defensive because like this is pretty much like the season, and at this point, like we're like 1 or 2 points separated at this point, but he's able to clear me. And honestly, at this point, my car started falling off. I don't know what happened. It was just this was not handling well, as you can see. Even though just a few laps later, I've lost a ton of ground to the pack of cars there, and the cars behind me are trying to gain ground, and just trying to make it to lap 121 and just get a stage point at this point. And then Jonathan's has been able to catch me, and he gives me a nice little shove there, but I got a nice exit there. And at this point, I'm on full defense, just trying to get this one stage point that could be critical in a couple of weeks when we go to Talladega for the cutoff race. And then lap 116, you can see Chaffee has been able to clear, and I was not happy with that because I don't think Jonathan would have forced the issue, but he was shuffled out, and then the 10 car is battling for play in the round of 8 as well. So I'm like, this is not what I wanted to see. I was just trying to be so defensive at this point. Then lap 119, I tap the apron, I get a little loose, he gets a run, I go defensive, he goes really low, and I go even lower, and then we go into turn 3, and he just bulldozes me. I feel like he got on my outside. He could have just passed me on the outside. I was so bad at this point, but this is the white flag of the stage, and I was hoping they would screw up because I was really mad because like I didn't feel like I put an excessive block because there was enough space between us, and he could have just went on the outside and tried to make a move on the outside. But P7 that stage, and Mahu finished P4, so net gain of 1 at this point, and then restart on lap 125 here. We are officially halfway through this race, and just restart, and then able to gain some ground, try to gain some ground on this outside, but it just didn't seem to be working. But I thought my car, if I was on the outside on the early runs, because we've seen some people pass on the outside here, I was like, my car's so tight, I might be able to make it work, but just didn't really work on lap 130. I show my displeasure to Chaffee, but it comes down, and the apron basically just spins me out, and then LCS finishes me off, and now I'm like in like desperation mode now, kind of like I need a caution now, and you can see that lap 133. I'm getting on these the people in the back of the lead pack, but like I need a caution to get back into this race at this point, and yeah, I was getting really nervous that we wouldn't have a caution because historically stage 3 in Nitro at Martinsville goes green for a very, very long time. But how the race has played out so far, we haven't had a super long run, so I don't. But lap 143 here, and then Cameron gets super loose, and LCS gets involved, and it's a 2-car crash, and that will bring out a caution, and we are able to pass both of them. So we have now moved up into P8 because we weren't technically involved, and so it was go time with 102 laps to go in the race, and I knew it was time for me to get going. I needed to make some moves and try to get back to the front to get points back. And at this point, I kind of knew Mahu got his car hooked up pretty well, and he was running very, very well at this point. So at this point, I was thinking, all right, just need damage mitigation at this point to keep it close just for Talladega, because I just have something for plate tracks. I don't know what it is, but I'm very good at plate racing in this game. And at this point, I'm like, I just make sure there's a way I can point myself in at Talladega. But there's a huge stack ups right now, and but move to P7, and then a few laps later, I show my nose under the 10, and I think he knows I'm very mad at this point, and decides just to let me go at this point. I believe so. Still trying to make my way to the front end, and Jonathan, I can't wait. I'm like, I'm not wasting time. I need as many points, so I just move home, and I'm like, I can't waste time. I can't let these people get away. I need to try to get ahead of as many people as I can and just get as many points as I can. So it was getting the tensions are rising, to say the least. Then lap 159, Andrew has been struggling this run, and I'm able to shove my nose under him, and this I got under him, but this pass was not easy. As you can see, it's lap 160, and this pass takes about 3 to 4 laps to actually complete, as as he was able to fight on the outside pretty well. And then lap 162, I finally clear him, and we were able to try to march forward in this race. I'm like, okay, I'm back to basically where I feel like I should be this race, and Mahu's in second, and I'm like, okay, this is okay. I can manage this at Talladega. Because at this point, I'm thinking about Talladega already. But lap 168 coming to lap 169. Nice. And you can see that, honestly, we're keeping up with the leaders. And I think, honestly, we were catching third place here. And then you can see Andrew's getting a little bit smaller in my mirror. So we were pulling away from Andrew. And I honestly think we were kind of closing in on the 95 and the 14 at this point. And I was hoping this race would honestly go green because I was feeling good. But on lap 177, you can see there was a car there on the inside. I believe it was Chaffee. And that would bring out the caution. I decided to take the outside just because I was struggling so much on the inside on restarts. So lap 181 at 182. There's about 68-ish laps left, I believe. And just trying to fight on the outside, but this didn't really work out for me. This car was just so bad on the short run. And then there was calamity, and Jonathan got launched, and then combat was I almost was able to clear combat there, but just was not able to do it. And I was trying to find the outside, try to pinch him, but he was able to get the nice run. But that is what it is. But P4, so we kind of ended up a net even. But you can see Mahu's fighting for the lead, and if Mahu wins this race, it 100% puts me in must win at Talladega, which honestly I kind of feel fine with. And Jonathan gives me a little bit of a boot, and I pinch him really, really hard. And then I think Jonathan and Andrew were not happy at each other at this point. And then Andrew overshoots the corner, and he goes really wide, and I pinch Jonathan super hard as well. And still feel okay at this point, but the regression level was getting picked up quite a bit. So, but I get a nice run on Jonathan here and show my nose, and then he does try to cut it off, but he slides up a little bit. And I'm going to try to shove my nose under him, and I get the run on the bottom, so we're able to pass him as he just kind of lets me go. But now back into P4 on lap 186, coming to 187, then lap 188. 189, and then Andrew is on my bumper, and then I slip up a little bit, and I'm trying to pinch him really hard because I'm fighting for every point right now just to keep my point loss at this point at a minimum, because Mahu was just, he found somethsomething, and I wasn't, because I thought at the start of the race we were pretty even. Maybe I was a little faster, but his car kept getting better as the race went on. And you can see lap 195, Andrew has disappeared in my mirror, and Jonathan has moved into P5, and you can see I got a nice gap, and I was like, okay. Just at this point, I needed to run laps, but lap 202, you can see Andrew he has found something, and I don't know exactly what he found, but he found something. But I got super loose off turn 2, and he was able to get a nice run and clear me, and I fallen down to 5th place. And at this point, the race is really calmed down. At this point, everyone started to spread out, and then lap 209, you can see Andrew was pulled away, and Jonathan is still back a little ways, so. At this point, not much has happened in the race. And you can see jump to lap 230, and I'm in no man's land. There's not a car around me. So at this point, the race goes green all the way, and I kind of just ride in this lonely little world in 5th place. And Gary at this point has already won the race, so Gary has advanced himself into the final 4. But yeah, my last lap here, lap 250, coming to 251 to end the race, and Mahu finished 2nd, so that was a little disappointing for my own gains, but P5 still feels really great for me for how awful I'm usually at this track in NASCAR Heat 4 and 5. But we'll take the result. We'll take the 5th place. We're 7 points behind Mahu going into Talladega in a couple of weeks. We have a couple off weeks, so you won't see any Nitro videos for a while. But yeah. So 7 points between me and Mahu. No one else. Pretty much everyone else is must win. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And you can watch these Nitro races live on my Twitch channel, which is in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!